Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Are we really looking at things wrong? Now look, it's very normal to invest in something, and even if you feel very convinced that you're making the right move in the moment, there may be some points in the future where you're rethinking things like, oh God, did I just make a boneheaded decision? Is this actually wrong? And there's no shortage of people that have had those types of second guesses about all sorts of different cryptocurrencies, including XRP, even though in my mind it's one of the most obvious plays and has been in plain sight, one of the very best, most obvious cases for like over a decade at this point. I can understand how some people could be second guessing that, in particular if they're not armed with enough information and understanding of the XRP ecosystem. And so there's a post I'm going to share with you from X, and somebody was asking chart analyst credible crypto effectively that, and I'll show you the post in a second. But Credible Crypto, who is most known for being just a fantastic chart analyst, he shared a pretty lengthy post. It's pretty in depth, and I thought he had a great response, so I want to share it with you. So it turns out not only is he fantastic at charting, but he also really does understand the XRP ecosystem, and I want to share some of my thoughts along those lines as well. But I'll just tell you this before we get into it, like, all signs point to yes, XRP makes more sense than pretty much any coin, if not literally all coins in the entire crypto system. Pick a metric. XRP has been expanding since inception. Utility has only been increasing. Users increasing. Just pick a metric. And so I understand that price has been suppressed for it. I mean, it's breaking out of that now. Obviously, it hit a new all-time high after 7 years. I understand price has been suppressed for a number of years. But you have to, this is really key to understand. Price in and of itself is not an indicator of whether or not there's underlying value. You can think back to like Amazon, after the dot-com boom and burst 25 years ago, roughly. The stock price for Amazon fell over 90%. 90%. Amazon fell 90% from the peak of that bubble. And at the same time that happened, the metrics for the business were only getting better. So Amazon still made sense, and those who were informed, they not only held their Amazon stock, they bought more. And so similarly, over the last several years in particular, as XRP was under attack, those who understood the fundamentals of XRP, if anything, they stocked up. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say are right. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, real quick, I just wanted to highlight this. This is just one of many metrics you can look at. It's the chart in the middle of your screen here. It's the number of new accounts activated on the XRP ledger, and each little dot here is literally a day. And so you can see even for the last couple weeks, while obviously sentiment has just been in the gutter for crypto, just broadly speaking, and so there's less activity for every coin, including XRP, even though, yes, XRP has been showing strength much, much more substantial than other large coins. If you look at over the top 100, for example, even in this environment, you're still seeing, if you look back over the last couple of weeks, on any given day, it looks like there's anywhere from, well, usually like maybe 4,000 to 5,000 new accounts, could be a little bit higher, maybe slightly lower, depending on what day you're talking about. That's happening during this environment. Now, the reason this really jumps out at me is because I have a historical understanding of how many accounts were created on any given day going back over a decade. And even if you just look back at pretty much any point in the first half of last year, 2024, on any given day, there were maybe close to 1,000 new accounts created. And some days it was a little more, some days a little bit less. But that's pretty much what it was. So what I'm telling you is, even at this time where we're more suppressed, just recently, the crypto market's more suppressed, more people feeling negative sentiment in that. Even in this environment, we're still having 4 to 5 times, on average, on any given day, 4 to 5 times the normal amount of new people jumping into XRP jumping in. 4 to 5 times higher per day. Even in this environment. That's crazy. And you can see, so, obviously, when XRP hit a new all-time high for the first time in 7 years, January 16th, over 15,000 new accounts in a day, that's not a surprise. After XRP had really gotten running, it had its local peak on December 2nd at $2.90, highest in years, 30,641 new accounts. Now, you just wait until we have that euphoric blow off top and it draws in even more new retail people. I'm telling you, these numbers are going to go through the roof again. But it's just cool to see. And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is to know, like, it's humans the world over that are voting on which coins should have long-term viability with their actual dollars. So those coins that continue to make sense, and people believe that, and have long-term value, that's where the money goes, and then you have coins that rise to the top in terms of market cap. And so that's why the market cap is valuable. Sometimes I hear people argue that market cap doesn't mean anything because it's just a calculation of circulating supply times market price. And I say, yeah, that's what it is. That's how you calculate it. But it is valuable. It's valuable because humans use it to get an idea of how valuable a coin is relative to every other coin in the space. That's important. You have to judge by something. Humans judge by that metric known as market cap. And that's how it's calculated in the world of crypto. So all of that actually does matter. And so it's those coins that have actual fundamentals that are strong and are actually useful, of attributes that people like, that are going to persist. And having been a coin that's among the first to have ever been created, yeah, that matters. Like, it's hard to supplant a technology that was created first. It really is. And so since XRP was one of the first coins ever created, even if another coin can do something about the same or a little bit better, pick a metric, even if that's true, well, you can't just create a new coin and then get it listed on every single exchange the world over, have people start building on it. There's an entire ecosystem, folks. You can't just supplant it because something technically on paper is better. And so XRP is something that you can't even code into it, which is that entire history. All those actual people that have adopted, all the actual builders, all of that. And people do value the attributes. And so it's speculators the world over that, based on all of that, have kept it in the top 10 coins by market cap for its entire existence. But I get why people could be a bit concerned here. And so somebody that goes by the name Steady wrote to Credible Crypto and said, "Hi, Cred. I read a post and started having a bit of doubt on FA," which I assume is maybe it's financial advice, "for my own XRP investment." Or maybe it's fundamental analysis. It could be fundamental analysis. That might make more sense. Anyway, he says, he is basically saying, so he's referencing this post here, he is basically saying Ripple is as a company, can totally be fine without XRP, and the use of XRP within Ripple ecosystem is very niche. Be happy to hear your thoughts. Great YouTube video, by the way. So I want to say this, and I'll get into everything that Credible Crypto had to say. It's just so funny to me that people freak out. So wait a minute, you're telling me, like, if Ripple's business model with XRP, it doesn't fail, then XRP fails? Well, why is that the standard when Bitcoin, which has nothing, has like no use cases by comparison, how come that's fine? How come that's fine? Nobody's trying to use XRP or Bitcoin as a bridge currency. Nobody. That's a I mean, fine, technically Jack Mallers has tried using Lightning Network. How's that going for him? But that requires layer 2 technology anyway. But what I'm saying is, like, how come nobody has the same standard for Bitcoin? So Bitcoin is the pet rock of crypto. Nobody expects it to do anything except sit there. And that's fine. If it's going to be valuable forever, and even if it's always number one in market cap because it was the first mover, I can accept that. If it has those attributes that humans value, and it's really just going to be a store of value, and it moved first, so it gets that, fine. But why then does XRP get held to a different standard, to where there's this well-known company in the XRP ecosystem that must have success or it fails? Does XRP not retain its effort, all of its attributes and its technical abilities and prowess? Does it not retain that regardless of whether Ripple exists? Well, of course it does. If Ripple goes away, it continues to exist. But the truth is, there are tons of other people building on the XRP ledger. I mean, just look no further than the amicus briefs that were filed in the SEC v. Ripple case. There were a bunch of third parties, and Judge Torres let them file. And they're businesses. A lot of them were businesses talking about why XRP is important to them and how they're using it. So it's not, Ripple's not the end-all be-all. I like them. I appreciate them. Doesn't mean I like everything they do, but I like them. I appreciate that they're the biggest cheerleader for the ecosystem that there could be, because frankly, they have the most to lose. Like, they're just going to abandon XRP. And also, XRP, just to be clear here, Ripple Payments has a messaging system, and the messaging system doesn't require XRP as a bridge currency, but Ripple Payments does require XRP if you want to settle. That's where it's required. That's the on-demand liquidity part. XRP is required for that, unless you're talking about a geographic region where, because of the SEC happenings touching the United States, you have to use a stable coin for now anyway. But XRP is literally programmed into it. It's actually required with that. So it depends on what you want to do. How do you want to settle, customer? And so this is a misunderstanding. People, it's just, it's amazing to me. I can understand that there are not a lot of people that necessarily have that level of clarity that could parse that out that way. But this information has been publicly available for like most of the last decade. Like it is out there. All you have to do is Google. Like it is out there, right? And so the fact that people may not want to use this part of a product, which doesn't use XRP, or may want to just use that in any given moment, but they don't want to use the part that uses XRP, that doesn't mean that the part where you can use XRP is no longer valuable. That doesn't compute. That doesn't make sense. It's functionally useful. Anyway, here's what Credible Crypto had to say, though. He said, Ripple can probably be fine without XRP, and XRP can be fine without Ripple. Not all of Ripple's products require XRP, and XRP doesn't require Ripple to exist. The XRP ledger is decentralized, so if Ripple were to shut down tomorrow, the XRP ledger would still exist and continue to function, with XRP being used as its gas token, like Ethereum, ETH, on the ERC20 network. With that being said, Ripple is the single largest holder of XRP. They currently hold over $100 billion of XRP. However, most of it is locked away in a time-locked escrow, of which a small portion gets released every month for, at a minimum, the next 5 years. Because a lot of the monthly release tokens are relocked for another 5 years, the timeline for the full unlock keeps getting pushed back indefinitely. Keeping the above in mind, if you owned $100 billion of a crypto asset that you will only get full access to a decade or more from now, would you not do everything that you possibly can to grow the value of that asset over the next 10 to 20 years? It is in Ripple's best interest to make the value of XRP increase as much as possible for as long as possible, because they will be the single greatest beneficiary of this price increase, more so than me or you for the next decades. Now, folks, that's certainly true. When I jumped into XRP in 2017, I was aware of all this, and Ripple held way more XRP back then. And I was like, well, I guess I could get burnt by this if the market takes a dip. But I understood that XRP was decentralized, so it wouldn't just cease to exist purely because of that. But I was like, I don't think they're going to sell it. Not in a way that would mortally harm the market, because they have the most to lose. That would be stupid. STOOPID, stupid. So I never believed that. Now, if people have issues with that, I can understand that and respect that, actually. That's a fair critique. Ripple's got a bunch of XRP. For sure. If you got an issue with that, fine. I don't. I don't have these trust issues, okay? I really genuinely don't. But it's certainly true that they do have the most live. And so what do you see Ripple actually doing? You see them building other stuff on top of just having XRP as a bridge currency, which was what they were really almost solely gunning for a number of years. They've done other stuff. They've been getting into custody. That's going to be great for everything in the crypto space, including XRP. And they also have launched a stablecoin, RLUSD. And the RLUSD that's on the XRP ledger, that requires XRP. That helps to ensure the long-term viability of XRP. So there's a lot of stuff going on here that will ensure that XRP sticks around for decades and decades, unless something disastrous happens that none of us can foresee at this moment. But it's already achieved long-term staying power. It already has done that. It's been live for 12 years now, folks. That's rare. That's super, super, super rare. And here we are. Anyway, and then he says, how do they do this? By increasing its utility, so referencing Ripple, by increasing its utility and therefore increasing demand for it. Now, folks, although I'm not disputing that Ripple's trying to do things that are good for the XRP ecosystem, so I'm not disputing what Credible Crypto says, it's a matter-of-fact statement that anything Ripple has done for the whole time they've existed, no matter how good the news is, it hasn't changed the price of XRP. You could maybe find like one exception. Much to the chagrin of many XRP holders, like especially years ago when people thought that it might. There were a lot of people that thought that it would have a heavier impact. And the answer is no. It turns out XRP just moves with the broader crypto markets. So Yes, I'm glad Ripple's doing all that stuff, but even then, the market's already telling you it's not all about Ripple. The market's screaming that at you. You don't have to be fearful that if Ripple goes away, then XRP ceases to exist. Now, yes, I would certainly see the point that if for some reason Ripple's suddenly going away, it could spook the market and you could see a major correction. But if you're talking about long-term viability, it's still functionally useful. It's just a better version of Bitcoin, which is all, frankly, when Jed McCaleb came up with the idea, like, that's all they were trying to build. And David Schwartz has talked about this as well. They were just trying to build a better version of Bitcoin. They succeeded. It is that thing, even if Ripple doesn't exist. And Ripple only runs one validator. Out of all of them, one. If that goes away, the network is fine, okay? Everything's okay. Anyway, then Credible Crypto says, one way they can do this is by selling a product that doesn't need XRP, but that can possibly be even better with XRP. And folks, I'll just pause and note, that is what happens with Ripple payments. If you want to settle quickly and cheaply, you can use XRP. Lead the horse to the water, you know, that whole thing. And then he says, the more they can grow their network and customer/client base via their non-XRP products, the more opportunities they have to plug XRP into the mix down the road. It's kind of like a store or website advertising a massive sale to get customers to visit, and then once the customer walks in, they can try and upsell their other products. It's just simple logic. If you have 100 billion of a particular asset on your books, and you have the power to potentially increase demand/utility for this asset to make that 100 billion worth 2, 5, or 10x the current valuation, well, why wouldn't you? All other revenue sources would pale in comparison to the profit that may be made from increasing the value of Ripple's XRP, which increases the value of all XRP. At the end of the day, this is probably Ripple's #1 focus, simple because it's likely to be orders of magnitude more lucrative for them than anything else they are offering. Golf clap, Credible Crypto. That is spot on. And that's in line with everything I've been screaming for the better part of a decade at this point, to anyone who will listen, because it just makes logical sense. XRP is at the core of everything that Ripple is doing. It just is, because that's what matters most to them, for good reason. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.